What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another versus slash story time where I take on the hardest contents of the game and give you a little bit of story time here and there as well after we talk about the fight. In this video is going to be on Edward's event. This is of course the challenge quest, and the team that I went with is basically the same team I went with Kimahri's Lost Chapter. Now if you have seen my pull video, you do know that I do have at least Edward's EX and his 15 and 35 CP weapon have maxed out. The only reason why I didn't actually use him here is I was too lazy to actually farm up the summon boards for him. So yeah, if I felt like actually doing the farming the summon boards, I probably would have taken him instead of Kimahri. But honestly, Kimahri did his job despite being only EX MLB. So I mean, he did his job. I mean, a lot of the carrying of the damage is going to be on Arden, of course, and I do have his burst weapon, which makes it so much easier in terms of dealing more damage. Hope is actually still a pretty solid support character, and overall I just didn't have any issues with this fight. Honestly, I don't even know the real mechanics of the abilities for the boss. I did skim through it, I think later on after the fight, something about having 2 turns or something like that. I'm not even sure because it never got to that point. So yeah, I would say this fight is a little bit easy. Now first let's talk about this wave by waves, how I handle this. Now the first wave is obviously just targeting the main boss. The little seedlings, you don't really have to kill them. If you do kill the boss while the seedlings are still spawned, they will just die and you go to the next wave. Now the second wave with the 2, I guess, bees, I'm gonna call them bees or wasps, whatever you want to call them. Honestly, I just didn't have any problems. They didn't do much HP attacks. I know when I was doing the lesser, I suppose the lesser difficulties, at some point they did do HP attack to all. So every time they have like all attacks, I kinda saved Nova for that. But honestly, for some reason in this particular run, they didn't actually do any HP damage. So I don't even know the ability they actually used to do HP damage. A lot of their single targets were just rising / plus, at least that one I did remember. But yeah, it didn't do any brave plus HP attack. So yeah, pretty much I got to their HP to about a quarter, maybe a quarter, somewhere along those lines, or maybe a third down, and then use my burst, and then they pretty much dropped down to like a third left. They were pretty, at least one of them would have been red health, and basically just use my summon afterwards. Yeah, just didn't really have any problems as long as you have Arden. I don't think you need his burst for this one. He's definitely gonna help in terms of damage overall. Kimahri over our Spoony Bard, I think the HP damage reduction is still pretty helpful. I still like it. Nova, I still like Nova. I mean, you get like a free turn with that one, right? But I guess you can use Spoony Bard as well, and put them to sleep if you do have his LD. And yeah, just overall, I think the fight was pretty easy, pretty simple. But that's probably because I did have the burst weapon for Arden as well, which makes things so much easier, because you have like 2 summon phase basically, so doing a ton of damage as well. Alright guys, those are my thoughts for the fight. As for story time, I don't know about you guys, but lately I have been so into these like speedruns, like world records for like older games, like the old Mario Super Brothers and stuff like that. I don't know, I just wanted to tell you guys that I have been watching a lot of speedruns for whatever reason. mainly on Summoning Salt's YouTube channel. He does a very good retro, like speed runs overall story, like how people managed to get the very first speed run, how they got those times, and then you see all these little tricks to improve their time, and the world progression. That's the word I'm looking for. The world progression for this game speed run basically, and I just find it really fascinating to the extent of how much people will go through to get to be the number one, and to find and refine their skills to the point where one little mistake will cost you the world record. And I feel like if that was me, I would have been very devastated if I made a mistake when I knew I was on a pace to be the world record. But these people, they just keep on going and non-stop. I just could not believe how much time people put into these really old games and still playing it to this day, right? Yeah, I just found it very, very fascinating. But I do suggest you guys, if you guys are interested in something like that, like a story about the world progression for a certain game, especially the retro ones. I think for the retro ones, I think Summoning Salt does a really good job on that. So highly suggest. I might leave a link down to his YouTube channel, down in the description below, if you guys are interested. I haven't got to the point where I found a very good world progression for newer games. So if someone would like to suggest a channel that actually does a kind of a story of the world progression for newer games, I would like to see it. And if you guys are into that and know someone who does a pretty good job, let me know down in the comments below and I'll check them out. I think the latest one, the most latest game that I did watch a world progression on was Super Mario Odyssey, and it was done by Small Ant, and I think he did a pretty good job on that as well. Laid out from the beginning to the current, at least the point of his video, of course. Things still evolve throughout this time. So yeah, that is it for the story time, guys. So yeah, if you know anyone doing more of modern games world progression stories, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so I'll end the video right here. Please do once again to remind you guys once again to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And as always, I am trying to reach that 5,000, but right now I think my goal has to go down and be more realistic. So let's see if we can get to the 3,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year. I would really appreciate it if you guys do help me out on that one. And if you have any friends who play Dissidia, Omnia, and want to check out my channel, please try and recommend my channel. I really do appreciate it. And as always, follow me on Twitter and on Facebook as well at Monchkinz Gaming, and leave down in the comments below what you think of this fight. Did you have any struggles? I very much doubt you might have any troubles unless you don't really have Arden. So let me know down in the comments below. And again, if you guys know any speedrun world progression stories, YouTube channels, leave it down in the comments below as well. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.